up, history fans, and welcome back to History with Himali. Today, we are doing a very interesting Nigerian history story that impacted Nigerian history. And the cool thing is, it was a very recent event. It happened in 2014. Today, we are going to be talking about the kidnapping of the Chibok girls. But wait, I'm not the only one who's going to explain it. I have a friend who will be joining me today very shortly to talk about this very interesting story that changed Nigerian history forever. So, without further ado, let's get started. Okay, everyone. So, this is my Nigerian friend, Annabelle. She's going to be explaining the story of the Shibok girls with me. All right. So, Annabelle, can you tell us the basics of what exactly happened?
So basically, the story of the Chibok girls is like it was a huge mass kidnapping that happened in Nigeria, and it shook the nation and it drew like international attention about like problems with young girls in conflict zones. So basically, an extremist group called Boko Haram, they raided a school full of in the town of Chibok, Nigeria, and kidnapped 276 girls. This happened in on April 14th, 2014. Lots of the girls were raped, murdered. Some of them were saved, some of them were found, some of them were not found and are still missing to this day. And some of them they found their bodies and they were pronounced dead.
Oh, wow. That sounds like a really exciting and really scary incident at the same time. So, do you know why exactly the Boko Haram would kidnap all these innocent girls?
Well, honestly, there's not much that we can tell on why they did it. It's more, but like what we know is that Boko Haram is it's an Islamic extremist group. So I believe that the Chibok girls, they went to a government school, and a lot of the times they're not in the Islam religion. So I'm thinking maybe it's because those girls were not in the Islam religion, and they're trying to
Convert?
show something. I don't know. Yeah, like trying to show their power. I guess like it's hard to really explain, but yeah.
Wow. So, some of the girls were found, right? Do you know where
Yeah.
exactly some of them were found?
Well, I don't know exactly where, but like a lot of them were just found like on the road, like crying for help because they had like escaped from the trucks. Because of course they used trucks to like kidnap all the girls, and some just like literally jumped out of the trucks and ran back home. Some of them, while they were trying to escape, did in fact die. But the ones that were found were most likely found on the road, crying, crying for help, asking for help and stuff.
Wow, that's like one escape out of a movie, wouldn't you say? Like jumping out of the trucks?
It really is, honestly, and it doesn't seem like something that could happen on this earth, but it's happening.
What happened to the Boko Haram? Like, are they still around? Are they arrested? Are they dead? What happened to them?
Well, the people that have been arrested, of course, are in jail, but a lot of them have not been arrested. It's still a group today. And yeah, it's still a group today, like the same terrorist group that attacked us like for 9/11. They're still active today, and that's the same thing with the Boko Haram.
So, where were the Boko Haram trying to take these girls?
It's not exactly, nobody's really found the exact reason on why they've done this, but like again, like most of these terrorist group, they it's literally in the name. They come to terrorize people. So I guess they were trying to terrorize them for, I don't know, something. And I don't know. It's kind of like it's just a thing that these people do, like out of their brutality of their heart.
Wow, that's really scary, like I said earlier. But you also
Yes.
told me when you sent me the story that it really impacted Nigerian history. Hey, history fans, you remember that I told you that it impacted Nigerian history, right? So why don't you talk to us about what impact it had on Nigeria and its history?
Well, first, it sparked the outrage within Nigeria, like knowing that we need to learn how to protect the children, not just the girls, all of the children of Nigeria. We also need to like be able to find better security for them, find like a safer way, because lots of children they're being kidnapped on like a daily. And honestly, it's not even as much as like America. Like in America, like it's happening, but not as much as it's happening over there. And also the impact it had, it also like started a hashtag campaign, which is hashtag bring back our girls.
Started by Michelle
It's kind of
Obama, right? Michelle
like, I
Obama.
believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like the same thing here where we have like BLM, like Black Lives Matter. It's the same thing pretty much, which basically they're trying to raise awareness for these girls that were kidnapped and might as well be dead right now.
Wow. Yeah, I see how it ties a lot to these all these Amber Alerts that we're getting right now. Like it's basically showing the importance of why we need to pay better attention to Amber Alerts and kidnappings and try to take initiative to do something about it, right?
Yes, that's exactly what it shows us, because I guess if there was more like people that were protecting those girls and trying to find ways to really stop it, and if there were Amber Alerts, more girls could have been saved than the few that came out, which is like only like I think like 38, about like 30 to 50 of them were found. That's not even close to 276.
Oh, yeah,
So yeah.
definitely. That's a pretty small number compared to the really large number that got kidnapped. You're right about that. All right, so
Yeah.
was the Boko Haram like associated or allies with any other terrorist groups, like the terrorist group that was responsible for 9/11?
I'm not exactly sure, and I don't think it is, because the terrorist group that attacked 9/11, from what I know, for the 9/11 one, they're mostly like in the Middle East, like they're based in the Middle East, and Boko Haram is based in Africa, so they're kind of like really different. But they're, although they're not connected, they have the same motives, which, well, I don't know exactly what their motives are, but basically you can tell that they have the same motive.
Yeah. Okay, so you were telling us about a little bit about Bring Back Our Girls, right? Can you tell us some
Yep.
more about it?
Well, I know is for the Being Back Our Girls, it's basically like, again, it's like the same thing as BLM, which is people protested on it, and the government didn't really do as good as a job as they should have done.
Yeah.
But people posted using Bring Back Our Girls. People, posted online on social media about it. And basically, it didn't only happen in Nigeria. Again, it was Michelle Obama that started it, proving that it was an international, thing.
Yeah. So I know based on what you said, the US got involved and about Michelle Obama getting involved, but what other countries got involved and took this as seriously as the US did?
I don't know any other countries that got involved, because like I haven't really looked into that. But I think, yeah, I don't really know, but I believe that most other West African countries did in fact get involved. And also, it's not just about the countries getting involved; it's about the actual people trying to do something about it. And the people they tried to protest it. People led their own independent searches trying to find these girls. Because that's 276. You know how many like mothers are crying because their
Or
girls have just,
daughters. Oh, yeah,
yeah,
you're right.
exactly.
The
Like it pains them like really bad.
And the thing is, they're girls. Girls should be treated with a little bit of respect, right? Because they're more liable to rapes and, the kind of things that you told me about.
Yeah. Exactly. Like, girls are more scared of the world than men usually are. Like, not to be sexist or anything, but like, usually like men are able to be stronger and more independent because they're able to have like more
Nobody will harm
opportunities.
nobody will harm them ever, but
Is that
everyone is after women.
yes? That's basically what I mean. Yeah, like everybody like is after them. They can't like most women can't go in the street safely. You know, like at night, like just safe. They can't go on a run safely, but men can do that just fine. You know.
And this goes back to the whole women's right thing back in America, right? Remember, men were always the powerful ones, but women had to wait a really long time till they could vote or till they could occupy some of the same jobs as men. This shows that they're a lot more vulnerable to things than men are.
Yep. And also another like example of that is I don't know if y'all seen the movie Radium Girls, but like basically
Oh.
Marie Curie when she brought radium to the states, she was subjected to radium. First of all, is toxic, and she knew that. She was the only female that had protection from that. All the other girls that were working in like the factories that used radium didn't have any single bit of protection. They were dying every day because nobody took a stand for them. And like it's the same thing that's happening here, you know, like nobody's taking a stand. Like the government's not doing something to like really like people are taking a stand, but like the government's not doing something to like, you know, like help us.
Yeah. So I know that you told us a lot about the impact it had on Nigeria and its people, but did it do anything to American people? Because I know Americans got involved with this.
Well, what it did was it did in fact spread awareness to Americans. And probably like we don't know about all the girls. Most of the girls probably like lived in Nigeria their whole lives, but
Mhm.
probably some people moved to Nigeria to go to that school because that school was a government school. And if you know anything about government schools, they're basically like at a higher level than average schools. So because that's a school that the government pays for, you don't have to pay for it. You have to be extremely smart to get into that school. You
Mhm.
know, it's very hard to get into that school, and the fact that all these smart, intelligent people that could have been scientists, could have been doctors, could have found the cure to cancer for all we know, they're gone because of the Boko Haram.
Wow. So this is the last question of our interview. Is there anything else that you'd like to tell our viewers?
Well, basically, I guess like this is a really good story that you should like look into. You know, you could like you could look at this one. You can read the story. Sorry, you could read about this story like everywhere. You could like watch videos on it. It's a really interesting story that like sparked attention throughout lots of the world, like not only Nigeria, but like yeah, it's very sad too.
Super sad. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, Annabelle. I really
Thank
appreciate you coming to speak to me and our lovely history fans about this really tragic and really important and meaningful event in history.
thank you so much for having me.
No worries. All right. That's all for today, history fans. Please remember to like and subscribe to my channel and be sure to check out the History with Himali website if you haven't already. All right, history fans, that's all for today. Stay tuned.